everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this adorable little sheep ornament. This one is probably my favorite so far, just because I love sheep and I love to crochet and this is super cute. So anyway, I'll get into the supplies and we'll get into making this. A big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn today. This is an acrylic size 4 medium worsted weight yarn. We are using Red Heart Super Saver, and this specific color we are using is Dusty Gray. And then the other color I'm using is Aran. It's just an off-white, but you can use any colors you want. Sheep come in many different colors, so you can use whatever color you want. And then a little bit of black to embroider the nose and the eyes. So this is what it looks like, and I didn't put a little tail, but I thought maybe like even a puffball tail would be cute on the back side, just a cute little piece there. So it's just a small ornament that we'll be making today, and you're going to need some stuffing. I'm using polyfill stuffing. And then also an F size hook, which is 3.75 millimeters. And this hook right here is showcasing this nice ergonomic handle. This is a hand carved wooden handle. If you haven't seen my videos already, you wouldn't know, but these are from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. So make sure you get these hooks, you guys. These are like the best hooks on the web right now at the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. You can get them and get them for the holidays. There's all sorts of different hooks on there that are different types of woods and different designs. They are super fabulous, super natural, and I love them. Also, and support a small business, you guys. That's a really great thing. Also, scissors, yarn needle, and a stitch marker you're going to need for this project, just to cut some yarn, sew things together, and mark your rounds. I'm just using a piece of yarn for my stitch marker, but if you have a legit stitch marker, use that. So now, before we begin, I do have to mention, I have to mention where there are links in the description of this video. So links to get all these supplies, especially this hook because this is super fabulous. And then also all the rest of these supplies. And there's a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all those fun stuff. So make sure you're following me on social media so you can get the update on when I post next. Subscribe to our channel here on YouTube so you can get the notification when this video goes up and when the next video goes up and everything. So thanks for watching, everyone. Let's just get started and make this cute little sheep ornament. Let's start out with our Aran color, or the body color. We're going to make this piece first. Okay, so what we're going to do is make a slip knot, put your short end over your long end, then fold that down and then pull your long end through and pull tight and insert your hook. And there we go. Okay, to start off we are going to chain 2. So yarn over and pull through 1 and 2. And in the second chain from the hook we are going to put 6 single crochets. So go into that second chain right there, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's a single crochet. So you have to put 6 of those in there. So that was 1. So go back in, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. There's 2, here's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you can see I'm working in a circular fashion. There we go. Now we want to insert our stitch marker to mark our rounds. If you don't need it, no biggie, but if you do, just mark your rounds so that you know where to start and where to stop. Now we are going to do round 2. We are working in both loops here. So let me grab my yarn here. We're going to go into this first stitch right here, okay, under both loops, and we're going to make 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then go back into that same stitch. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 2 single crochets in there. Hop to the next single crochet stitch right there and put 2 single crochets in there. 1 and 2. Okay, then hop to the next and put 2 single crochets in there. 1 and 2. Okay, at the end of round 2, we'll have 12 single crochets. So let me get to the end here and we can go on to the next round. Round 3, we are going to move our stitch marker up. There we go. If you need to, count back. Make sure you have your 12 stitches before you go on to the next round. So move your stitch marker up around. And going on to round 3, we are going to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch right here. So 1 and 2, And then in the next stitch, just put 1 single crochet. And then just repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch, 1. Then 2 single crochets in the next, and then 1 single crochet in the stitch after that, and just repeat. So at the end of round 3, we will have 18 single crochets. So I'll do that and I'll meet you up for round 4. Alright, going on to round 4, we're going to move our stitch marker up and we are going to increase again. So let's put 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of these next 2 stitches. So put 1 in here and 1 in the next, just like that. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of these next 2 stitches right here, 1 and 1. Okay, then hop to the next and do the same thing. 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. At the end of round 4, we will have 24 single crochets. So I'm going to do that and then I'll meet you up for round 5. Alright, for round 5 we're going to move our stitch marker up and we are going to increase one last time. Let's put 2 single crochets in this first stitch, 1 and 2, and then on this round we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1, next one gets 1, and the next one gets 1. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So put 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1 and 2, and then 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, 1, and 1. Okay, so just repeat. At the end of round 5, we'll have 30 single crochets. I'll meet you up at the end of this round and we'll go on to our last round together. Alright, I have my 30 single crochets around, so now I'm going on to the next round. We're going to move our stitch marker up. And now this round we're going to make the shell looking stitches on this little sheep here. You can see these little shell types of stitches here. So that's what we're going to make next. So the first step is to single crochet into the very next stitch. So let's move our stitch marker up there, go into this stitch right here and put 1 single crochet. Okay. Then we're going to skip this next stitch and we're going to put 6 double crochets into this next stitch. So yarn over. So we're skipping this next stitch here, going into this next stitch right here, go in, yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops, just like that. And that's a double crochet. So we have to put 6 of those in that same stitch. So yarn over, go back into that same stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. So there's 2. Yarn over, go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 3, here's 4, 5, and 6, and there's our shell stitch. Now we're going to skip the very next stitch right here and just single crochet into the next. So skip this one, it's kind of hidden under there, so you really have to look for it. Skip this one, go into this one right here, just go in and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Just single crochet in there. And there you have your little shell there. So now we're just going to repeat. So skip the next stitch right here and put a shell stitch in this next stitch right here, which is 6 double crochets into there. So 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then skip the very next stitch right here and single crochet into this next stitch right here. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, just like that. and repeat. So skip the next stitch and then shell in the next, then skip the next stitch and single crochet in the next. So do that all the way around, and then I'll meet you up when I'm finished with my last shell stitch. Okay, when you're finished with your last shell here, you should have 3 stitches left. We're going to skip this next one here and single crochet into this next one right here. And then we're going to single crochet into the last one right here. Just like that. And then to fasten off, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And we're going to actually have to make 2 of these, okay? So one of these you're going to fasten off with a short tail, and then the other one we're going to fasten off with a long tail because we're going to sew them together. So chain 1. I'm going to cut this one off with a long tail. So pull that all the way through and pull it tight, and you can remove your stitch marker there. So we have one of these done. And then what I need you to do is rewind this, make one more of these exactly the same, and cut that strand off with a short tail. So you have 2 of these finished, one with a long tail, one with a short tail, because we're going to sandwich these back sides together and sew this together. Well, we'll line up the stitches and everything, and then we'll sew these together like that. Okay? So once you have both of these finished, we can go on to making the next piece. I'm going to set these 2 pieces aside, and we are going to grab our gray yarn. Grab some gray, and we are going to make the head first. So let's make a slip knot, put your short end over your long end, fold that down, pull your long end through, and pull tight, okay? Set this aside, this side. Insert your hook. And for the head, we are going to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through, 1 and 2. And in that second chain from the hook, we are going to just put 1 single crochet. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that's row 1. Very simple. Now we're going to chain up 1 and turn the work around. So flip it over. And in that single crochet right there, for row 2, we are going to put 3 single crochets in there. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Go back into that same stitch, make another single crochet, and then go back in for your 3rd single crochet. So that's row 2. So you can see there's 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work around and go on to row 3. Row 3 says to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. So right here, 1 and 2. Then 1 single crochet in the second stitch right here, 1. And then 2 single crochets in the last stitch right here, 1 and 2. So we'll have 5 stitches on row 3. So that's what that should look like so far. Now the next row, we are going to chain up 1 and turn our work around, and we're going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch across for a total of 5 single crochets. So here's 1, next stitch is 2, next is 3, here's 4, and last stitch is 5 single crochets. And we just have to do that one more time. Let's chain up 1, turn the work around, and we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch across for row 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 single crochets on row 5. So that's what that should look like so far. Now what we're going to do is, let me get some yarn here, I'm going to get tangled. We're going to chain 1, turn the work around, and now we're going to crochet across here, but we're also going to work around this whole piece, okay, to kind of frame it out. So let's single crochet in each one of these 5 stitches, okay, so it looks like a row 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now what we're going to do is single crochet around, going down this side here. So let's single crochet again in this corner, just like that, going down the side. Wherever your hook fits is where you should single crochet. So go down this side right here, and then when we get down to the first row right here, we're going to put 3 single crochets in there. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to come up this side here. Again, wherever your hook fits is where you should put your stitches. Okay, and then finishing, we're going to put a single crochet where that first stitch is right there. Then to fasten this off, we're going to slip stitch into this first stitch right here, go in, yarn over, pull through and through, then chain 1, cut your yarn long for sewing. There we go, and pull it all the way through that chain, and then pull tight. And then you want to just stretch this out to make it have the shape of the triangular head of a sheep. And I kind of crocheted over this thing. I'll cut this short, but that'll be behind the piece, so when we sew that on. So then you have this piece right here done. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to set this aside. We're going to make the ears. We're going to make all the pieces and then we'll sew everything together at the end. So the ears, we're going to make a slip knot. I showed you how to do that earlier. And we are going to chain 5. So yarn over, pull through. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and in the second chain from the hook, we are going to slip stitch. So go into the second chain right here. I'm going to actually turn the chain toward me like this, and you can see these back ridges here. That's where I'm going to work. So in the second chain right here, we're going to go in for a slip stitch. So go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. There's your slip stitch. Next chain gets a single crochet, so go in, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. The next chain gets a half double crochet, so yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops on your hook, and that's a half double crochet. And the last chain here gets a double crochet, so you know how to do that. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And there's 1 ear. So now we're going to fasten off, so chain 1, cut your yarn long for sewing, and pull it through that chain 1, and pull tight. So now what I need you to do is make 1 more of these. We're going to kind of curve them a little bit. Little sheep ears are a little curved. So I have 1 done here, and I have another one finished, but if you need to, just rewind this and make your other one exactly the same, so you have 2 ears just like that. And then I'm going to take those 2 and set those aside. And the last 2 pieces we have to make are the legs. So let's grab our gray yarn again and make another slip knot. Alright, so the legs are very simple. We are going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and in the second chain from the hook we are going to single crochet 6 times. So go into there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1. Let me grab some more yarn here, I'm running out. Okay, go back in, here's 2, so it's basically round 1 of the body. Here's 3. Here's 4, 5, and 6. And for the legs, I'm actually going to work in the back loops only. I'm going to stick my stitch marker in here because we're going to work in continuous rounds. But the back loops only, I'll show you here. Normally, we work through both loops. So there's both loops on this stitch and both loops on this stitch right here. The back loop is the one that's furthest away from you. So right here is the back loop, okay? And this one has the back loop right here. Okay, so we're going to work in those loops. So you can work in both loops if you want to, but I'm going to work in the back loops only. I put my stitch marker there to mark my rounds. And for rounds 2 through 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the next 4 rounds, we are just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around in the back loops only. So let's see here. 1, next stitch, back loop only right there. Here's 2. Okay, next stitch, 3. This is going to be pretty tight and small, a small piece here. There's 4. Next stitch is 5, and 6 is right here. Fabulous. So that was round 2. So now rounds 3, 4, and 5 are exactly the same as that. And you'll see this kind of come up a little bit and look like a little, like a, I don't know, a leg, I guess. So I'm going to do that. Rounds 3, 4, and 5 are just the same as round 2. When I finish round 5, I will meet you up and we will fasten this piece off. Alright, I just finished round 5. Here's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're going to slip stitch into this next stitch right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And to fasten off, we're going to chain 1. We're going to cut our yarn long because we're going to use that for sewing. So pull that all the way through and pull tight. We can remove our stitch marker. And these legs here, if you want to stuff them, you can, but I have like kind of a long little strand of yarn here. I'm just going to shove that into the inside. And I'm not even going to stuff these legs. They are so tiny. So I have to use my little pinky finger to get it stuffed in there. There we go. So now you just need to make 1 more of these so you have 2 legs exactly the same. So there's my 2 legs for the little sheep. So once you have these 2 done, then you can grab all your pieces and we can attach them all together. So let's grab all of our pieces here. So the first things first, we're going to decide which piece is the front and which piece is the back. And I think the one with the short strand here is going to be my front piece. So I'm going to set this one aside. And then we're going to grab the head piece right here. And we are going to, you want to make sure this line down here where you fastened off is the bottom, okay? Because the legs are going to come out of this shell and this shell. Okay, so you want to make sure that this is the bottom. And so you want to put your head on the top half part right about here, and this little thing is facing like that, and that's where we're going to sew it. So grab your yarn needle. Let's move all these aside. Okay, we're going to yarn our needle with the strand for the head, and we're going to sew the head to the white part here, the body. So just go in and then come back out. Okay, and make sure this little piece is hidden. Any little pieces are hidden in the back. Okay, so in and out. Okay, so I'm just going to sew this on and then I'll meet you up when I'm about to fasten this piece off. Okay, so you want to end this piece on the inside here, just like this. On the back side, we are going to tie this off, so I'm just going to go underneath a few of the stitches between the layers, so it was just behind that stitch, and then just come through, hold my finger in that loop there, okay, and then come back through that loop, and then just pull tight. And then if you want to, you could just cut this short and leave it on the inside because we're going to stuff this piece on the inside and you don't have to worry about the loose ends or anything. So now that this head is on here, I'm going to embroider the eyes and the nose. So I have a little bit of black yarn here. Okay, I'm going to grab my yarn needle, the black yarn, and for the nose, we're going to come to the bottom here from the inside first. Okay, we're going to come through right about here and then just make a little triangular shape. And we have to come through a few times. Always coming through the same spot in the bottom. Oopsie. There we go. And back through. And maybe one more time here, through the same spot, and on this side. There we go. And then you just want to end on the inside and cut this yarn short, and again, tie your knots, just like this. Now for the eyes, we are going to make French knots, and I know I made some earlier this week in the ornaments that we've been making, so if you know how to make them, you can make them yourself, but I'll show you how to make one and I'll make the other one myself here. Or I guess I could show you both because we'll use one strand. Why not? So let's yarn our needle with the black yarn. Okay, come through the back right here. Okay, pull up some yarn, just like that. Okay, so now we have our yarn. We have this up. Let's get this out of the way here. Okay, so we have our yarn in through there. So now I'm holding it from the back here. Okay, just like this. I'm going to come back through here, just like this. And we're going to go from the front now of this piece right here, and then kind of cross or wrap like this up through here, just like that. Then what we're going to do is go into the very next stitch over here and into the piece, and then pull both strands tight, and there's a knot. Cool, huh? There's an eye. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm just going to use the same strand since I'm already back here and everything with this strand. Okay, so I'm going to come over to this side. Right about here is where I want the eye to go. So I'm going to pull that all the way through tight. Okay. Then we're going to hold this loop up, come around the finger like this, go through the front, and then up, let go, keep that on the needle, come down to this next stitch right here. Okay, I'm going to pull, but we're going to, the second one, if you're using the same strand as the first, we're going to actually pull, but we have to slide it over to the right. And I'll show you what I mean once I have all this yarn through. Okay, so we're going to take this, and instead of tightening it yet, we're going to slide this whole knot, there we go, all the way over to this side on this piece right here. So I'm going to loosen this up, loosen, 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 slide everything over to that side, and then pull this strand tighter, because that's the strand we have attached. So pull, 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 keep pulling. There we go. Make sure it's tight and pulled completely. And you can even pull your needle in the back there. Oh, there it is. Cute. And there's the other eye. That worked out really nicely. Okay, so now we're going to come to the back here. And we're going to cut our yarn short and tie these two strands in a knot. Just like that. Okay, and again, you can cut it short. And those will be on the inside when we sew everything. Now we have to grab our two ears. We're going to sew on our ears. So first thing, we have to position them where we want them, kind of on the head and then kind of down like this. I'm going to take my yarn needle with the short strand and put it through to the back side. We want everything to the back side. See. There we go. Come through to the back, just like that. And then just take it off of our yarn needle, grab the long strand, and use that for sewing. So we're going to position this where we want it, right about here. Okay, go into the sheep head, just like that. And then just like I showed you how to sew on the head, we're going to sew on the ears. And I'm just going to show you this one ear and then I'll sew my other ear on. And we want to kind of curve the ear a little bit. Just sew it on however you want and take your time. I'm just going to go a little faster for the camera, but you can take your time with this. There we go. Okay, and then come through the front and down through here. There we go. Cute. Okay, so then Once you're ready to fasten this off, again, we're going to take the long strands, the 2 strands or whatever in the back, and tie them in a knot. Or you can tie them off like I tied off the head by tying the 1 strand in a knot. And I showed you how to do that earlier. So you can do that. Once you tie them off in a knot, you can cut your yarn short and then sew on the other ear. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up when my other ear is attached. Alright, so I just attached this other ear, so now what we're going to do, we're going to attach the legs last. So we're going to actually attach this back side here. So let's sandwich these together. You want this back side, you can see, this is the front, the outside side. I don't know if you can see that very well. There we go. So this is the back side, or the outside side, and then if you flip this over, you'll see that this is the inside, okay? And you can see my little strand here, so that's the inside. So you want both back sides to face each other, and make sure your fastened off side, the stitch or whatever right here, this long strand and this short strand match up. Okay, so you want to line everything up. Looks good. We'll shove all these strands on the inside. Then you want to grab your yarn needle and yarn your needle with a long strand from one of the pieces. Okay. And then what we're going to do is just go in and out of each of these stitches in the back loops. So this is considered the back loop of this side right here. And we'll shove this piece in since that's a short end right there. So go into the back loop there, just like that. And then into the next one, into this back loop right here. We're going to mattress stitch, so I'm always going in from the inside out. Okay, next stitch, inside out. And just make sure that they line up completely. So now this stitch goes here, but now, and if you mess up on lining up, just skip a stitch and go on to the next stitch. Okay, I think I'm pretty lined up pretty good here. There we go. If you feel like you're one off, you can skip one stitch and then just line it up. And make sure all your stitches are lined up, and we're just going in and out. Out. And then in here. Just like that. And we're going to do this all the way around, okay? So I'm just going to do that, and then when I come back around, when everything is all sewn up, do not sew it completely though. We want to stuff this thing. So once I get like all the way around to about right here, when there's like this much space in there, I'll meet you up, we'll stuff this and then close this last little section. Alright, so I have a little space left here, so now I just want to stuff this, so grab some stuffing and just shove it inside. And that's, you know, creator's choice, however much you want in there. Make it a little plump little sheep. That's cute. Okay. Once you have it stuffed as much as you need, you can, again, keep your needle yarned and then just continue to sew this closed. So I'm just going to finish sewing this closed. We're going to tie a knot at the end there, and then we'll be able to go on to attaching the legs. Alright, so when you fasten this part off, I just wanted to show you, I'm just going through a few of the stitches here. Yeah, and you can see I attached a leg there. So what I'm going to do is just come through here, and like I showed you earlier, just go through that loop and then pull tight. And then just sew in this end into the inside of the body. Just like that, and cut any extra. And then stretch it out so it's hidden. So I attached one leg already, so I'll show you how to attach the other leg, and then you can attach your other second leg to this piece. We're almost done here. So let's yarn our needle with the strand, the long strand we cut from the leg. You can stuff this if you want to, but I had enough yarn in there, so I kind of just stuffed it with the yarn. And we're just going to put it at the bottom here. Okay, I'm going to flip this over. So I'm going to look at this from the back. Okay, just holding it like this, going through a stitch on this side, and then a couple of stitches on these, on the leg. Both layers there, so we're sewing the leg closed and sewing it to the body. Then come back through, kind of just whip stitching this, and then to the next two stitches right here and right here. And pulling. Okay, and again, This time here, we're gonna go through there, just like that. And then to fasten this part off, we're gonna go through again the layers, tie a knot, so come back through that loop and pull tight. And then you can do that once or twice, and then go into the leg with this strand to hide it, and then cut any extra and stretch it out so it is completely hidden, and then kind of shape them just like that. Oh, so cute. Now optionally you can add a little palm to the back for a tail, but I'm not going to because the front is just going to show on my tree this year. But that looks so cute. So now just one more thing, we got to make this into an ornament. So let me grab some yarn here. Cut that strand, take our yarn needle and grab that. Okay, at the very top here, we're just going to go through a couple of these stitches to the other side. Okay. Oopsie. There we go. And then you can just decide how long you want your strand to be. Wow. And then we're going to tie a knot around our finger like this, kind of like how we make a slip knot. Just go like this, cross them over, go to the back, and push that through. And then you can see how long you want to make this. I'm going to slide this down a little bit. Just like that. And then cut that shorter. And then what we're going to do, one last thing, I want to hide these little strands. So I'm going to take my crochet hook to the inside here. Okay, wherever, just wherever it fits. There we go. And then where this came out of, right there, we're just going to hook on this knot and then pull it to the inside of the sheep, like that. And then I'm just going to pull this other side, and that knot then gets hidden on the inside, and there it is. Our cute little sheep ornament is done. You can make a bunch of these, or make one and make it for your tree, make it for a gift hopper, make a bunch of garland, different colored sheep. You can do whatever you want with these cute little amigurumis. That was so much fun. Thank you so much for watching, and big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn today, and big thank you to my dad also for standing back there getting all those stitches and making you, letting you see really intricately where each stitch goes. So big thank you to him, and big thank you to you for always watching. Until next time, happy holidays and happy hooking!